been a long time. Yeah. Tell my subscribers, it's been a long time since I had a live going on. I really don't do live. I think I'm trying to get it figured out. I'm in another time zone, so I'm in the Pacific time zone. I think it may be late in some places, back in the mainland. In the future, be looking out for the legendary Ross Corey and the Imperial Sanctuary. A lot of things coming in the future. Legendary Ross Corey with a lot of. It's been a while since I've been doing Rastafari lectures and promoting Rastafari, but it's calling me back to do what I've been doing. So just be on the lookout for more Rastafari videos and teachings on Rastafari. It don't matter. Um, the Emperor Speaks, Imperial Sanctuary. The shop will be soon in the future to go through and getting the website fixed right now. Legendary Ross Corey, a lot of Rastafari items and whatnot. Shalom in the home. I'm trying to see who's all in here before we just chilling tonight in Hawaii. Tell me who's all in here so I can see who's talking to me, so I can see who's watching. Hey, Big Mike. What's up, Mike, man? Where you at? I was thinking about you the other day, man. Yeah, you wild, boy. Yeah, Mike. I'm supposed to get back into the teachings of it, so people can find themselves. You know what I mean? So people know. Who this? Jeremy Love God. Jeremy Love God. Yeah, Rasta. Rasta is a way of life. You know what I mean? But to understand, to overstand Rastafari, Jeremy Love God. Ethiopia is the first Christian nation. You know what I mean? So Rastafari is Haile Selassie. So he was really he was the last Christian king. You know what I mean? It goes all the way back from a Shemitic, a Jewish, you know what I mean, Afro-Asiatic bloodline from Solomon and Sheba and Shaba. You know what I mean? It's had a son, million leap. But any other questions to be, I will be give you some answers on this. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's similar. You know what I mean? But it's the oldest Christianity. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The Christianity in the West is different than Christianity in the East. You understand? Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy, you can just check it out. Any more questions, man? Just link me, inbox me, or just contact me. I will be doing invites on my live stream probably sometime after the end of this month. I have a few things I have to get taken care of, then I'll be back. Shalom. On this knowledge right here has been, I've been doing this for over 20 years. You know what I mean? Um, I've been teaching and learned this way of life from my father. You know, my father lived overseas, so with Ethiopians and Moroccans and Gypsies and etc. So that's how what gave me the insight on Rastafari. Then I went a little deeper than the older generation of Rasta. You know what I'm saying? Rastafari is really just a way of life that you just live this natural life and give thanks to the earth. But because Rastafari was um, yeah, the Ethiopian church is the first. That's the oldest church. You know what I mean? It's the Orthodox Church. The King Tawadro is was the real Orthodox Church 6,000 years before this American or the West Christianity. See what I'm saying? Before the Rome and the Greek stole a lot of this stuff because it was a lot of Ethiopians and sub-Africans up in Rome, running Rome. But that'd be another story. But we talking about Christianity, you know what I mean? Chris is really, if you want to understand the Christos or the Christ, it just means Chris, you know what I mean? Chris. And they put the stun inside of it, Christian, you know what I mean? But really it's Chris, you know what I mean? So, but one thing about Rastafari is though uh, yeah, they had so many books that's so many books that King James took out of it. You know what I mean? Cause King James is a water that not the. What's up, Aya Ross? Greetings, brother. Yeah. See, King James took this Bible and just rape some stuff in it. You know what I mean? So when it comes to that Bible, you can find it's not something that you can worship. It's like a rallying point. You can find things in it. Yeah, Jeremy, it's kind of like Ethiopian Jews. Yeah, Ethiopian Jews are the true Jews. You know what I mean? Them are the true Jews. It's still the bloodline is still there right now. You know what I mean? Since back in the day, you might can Google some stuff but this is like before Google or in 2005 before Google. It's so much knowledge out there that Google won't really tell you neither. You know what I mean? Ethiopia is the true Jews. You know what I mean? It's a group that that I studied a long time ago called philosophy. You might can do some research on it. Them are the true Jews. They still keeping the beta Israel. You know what I mean? The Cushites or the Cush. You know what I mean? It's in the Bible. It's in King James Bible. He couldn't take some stuff out of that book. You know what I mean? Because it's in there like 76 times Ethiopia, Cush. You know what I mean? It's a history. It's really a history book, but you have to understand the parables that's in it. You know what I mean? I was with a group for like I was in 15 years. I was with this group in New York. My teacher, he was a debtor, like a Rastafari rabbi debtor. So it was like everything that he taught me, it was coming from a Torah. Because we studied the Torah, so it was like different than studying the Bible. You know what I mean? Because the Bible is still like a kindergarten book till when you come to understand the Rastafari knowledge is you study the Torah, you got the Kibra Najas, the Kibra Nagas. You have so many other books, the Holy Pibi out of New York that prophesies some of this stuff before Ethiopia. And Haile Selassie was the last king, and that's what made it really people can't understand what Rastafari really is because the mighty God is a living man. So don't never get it twisted between deities. You know what I mean? Because it's a living man. If you understand Rastafari, you know what I'm saying. But some Rastas um, worship Haile Selassie, and some don't worship Haile Selassie. See what I'm saying? Some believe in Jesus Christ in a sort in that way. But when I was with my debtor, the debtor is a Rastafari. He was a Rastafari. Get back to this. I was with a group called Line of Judah Society. You know what I mean? And out of New York, out of Brooklyn. That's what gave me all the knowledge and what's different between Rasta and Rastafari. See what I'm saying? Rastafari, or Rasta is for I, is Haile Selassie. Rasta, anybody can say they Rasta. See what I'm saying? But real Rastafari can see who is real Rasta. See what I'm saying? Because anybody can wear dread. So don't get dread mixed with Rasta. See what I'm saying? Because people wear dread don't mean that is Rasta. You understand? That's the whole problem right there. That's the whole problem with that whole Rasta thing. The dreadlocks, the reggae, and that right there. Because reggae is sort of what puts the message out there to Rastafari. Reggae is something like it's church music, if you understand, or if you got to listen to what real roots reggae, you know what I mean? I can go on about this for days and days, you know what I mean? So much knowledge on this, you know what I'm saying? I used to post so much on YouTube. YouTube won't give me I know what it is, and when you posting things that's too deep for YouTube, they don't really give you the views on things like that. You know what I'm saying? But I have to keep doing the work. Yes, I. No vanity. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just be on the lookout, cause I'm about to do a video next week uh, with my dad. I'm gonna try to let him put some knowledge in on it, because what the people that the rosters that he was with, it wasn't no books like you can find books now. So this is all stuff that's coming from just being around, listening and reasoning. You know what I mean? Everybody had a point putting in the gumbo. You understand? When it comes to this reasoning, nobody's getting hot, nobody's getting heated. Everybody just putting a piece of the puzzle together. See what I'm saying? But this is not like a bragging thing on Rastafari, because in my younger years, if you can go back and get my book on Amazon, 10-Year Affair, um, it tells you, I tell you a lot about my whole, the first couple prefaces tell you a lot about my journey in that, you know what I mean? Because as a young child, they took me to church, and I realized something wasn't right. I seen the pictures on the wall. Then I went to church to search. See what I'm saying? Then I about 9 or 10 year old. Then I started at teenager. I started trying to find something. I was looking for something. Then I used to study Malcolm X, the Muslim, but the Muslim can't be a Rastafari or a melanated type of living. So I'm saying that's a Arab religion. But you have these black Muslims, or Nation of Islam, is still considered Muslim. You understand? Peacemaker. So I'm saying they really similar to Rastafari. We have no problem with Muslims. You know what I'm saying? But when I did my research, Rastafari was there. It was called to me. You know what I mean? As a young, it really saved my life, because uh, I was running the streets and doing whatever. You know what I mean? Living that life. You know what I'm saying? Then there was a calling. My story is, then I went stayed in Westmoreland, Jamaica. So in the grill, I stayed up in the mountains with Fudd, Ross Bongo Roach, Ross Fire. I always give credit to Ross Fire because coming from America, America rosters is different than Caribbean rosters, even though it's a little bit different. We more of a militant because we deal with more of a racism in America. So that's why the American roster is a little different. Like Caribbean roster, more of that Bob Marley, One Love. But you have that like the real rootsman that's teaching nothing but this militant. You know what I mean? It has to be militant. It has to be peace and equal rights before it become love. See what I'm saying? That's a difference between Bob Marley. That's why Bob Marley, a lot of people love Bob Marley, but when I stay in Jamaica, when I stayed up in them hills, they give respect to the music of Bob Marley, but um, Bob Marley really was doing this love thing. I understand love, but it can't be, it's for or I not coming from, the love has to be, we first have to have love for ourselves, then we can love others, you know what I mean? Because it's not working today, see what I'm saying? Even though people are finding love and waking up and trying to see what's happening, but we have to get these equal rights together, see what I'm saying? Then it become love, see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, a lot of cultures out here just really gone, you know what I mean? So more on that, I give thanks to Ross Fire. Anyway, he was a real Buffalo soldier that taught me. When I come from America, I was down there in the mountains living with these people. So it was the understanding. I was. It just took. It just like what do you call it? It just turned me out. You know what I mean? And when I come back to America, I seen it. I seen Babylon different because Babylon is America. That's Babylon. That's her. That's the little sister. This is America. You know what I mean? America is going is going to where it is today. You know what I mean? It's in trouble. As my dad always tell me, man has got caught up and has to pay, and now I understand. You know what I mean? Or understand what he's talking about. Man has got caught up and had to pay. The earth is at its peak. You know what I mean? So I give thanks and praise to all of Rastafari, the true Rastafari, that they're not people just screaming Rastafari, but they ain't living the Rastafari lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's not. It's a calling. It's something that you can just listen to some music and smoke some herb. Because every Rasta don't have dreads or smoke herb. I had dreads for 20, 15 years down to my ass. I done cut them, and you know what I mean. It's all about right here. A lot of Rastas don't even have dreads. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's getting nighttime. I'm in Hawaii right now, so it's getting nighttime, and I hope everyone's having a blessed and upright day. You know what I mean? I'm a few hours ahead of behind the mainland, so yeah, Mike, man, I appreciate everything. Okay, Jeremy, you said you had a serious question about the city between behind the herb and its presence in the roster. What's your, what's really the question? So let me see. Let me check you out. Yeah, Samson failed to the failed for a woman, and Samson was a roster. Anybody come natural is a roster. But anyway, hey, Jeremy, you talking about you had a serious question about the significance behind the herb and its presence in the roster. Yeah, and just like presence in roster, a lot of roster. Let me tell you, I'm gonna give you a story. Well, I'm gonna start. I got a couple of videos when I was in like some real herbs. I got some videos stuff back in 2005 that I got when I was in these real ganja farmers. A lot. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about Rasta and the herb. Okay, the real Rasta, the bush doctors that we call them, uses. They've been using this shit for centuries. I have a book too. You can go get that on Amazon called Healing of the Nation. I give credit to Webmaster for helping. It was a Christian based group that I gave the information to, and they wrote my book. But you can get my book on Amazon too, Healing the Nation. It talks about I put everything in there about herb because every religion, if the book has every religion about herb. Everybody uses herb. It's called cannibalism. You know, cannibalism in your book, in your Bible, they call it cannibalism, but people ain't understanding what it means. So, herb has always been used as a fragrance or incense. But I have a chalice. I usually smoke a chalice, but when I go I used to smoke papers and shit like that. I understand that too. But the herb is really supposed to be juiced or made as a tea or steamed. You know what I mean? The only real way to smoke this herb is really to be steamed because you get more of the CBD content instead of the THC. You understand? I've been doing this for a long time. My grandpa, my daddy, my grandpa was a grower and it's an etc. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too deep in that, but I've always been around natural homegrown. See what I'm saying? Uh, the herb has right now Rasta is not getting the credit because they've been brutalized and killed for so many years since the early 60s for promoting herb. That's why you have to give credit for Rasta for everything that Rasta said has come to pass. You know what I mean? Even though they're not Rasta's not getting the credit for what they about this ITAL diet, what the world has stolen and called vegan. You know what I mean? But veganism, ITAL's only roots, real roots diet. Anyway, herb it's not really about herb because the herb is good when you really smoking it and you really get into the higher heights in meditation. You know what I'm saying? Not just to get high. In the Western world, herb has been came is it they people here misuse marijuana. I watch people smoke 100 blunts and shit, but really you're not getting nowhere. You understand? It's supposed to get the mind, motivate the mind, to get you up. That's why you see people in Jamaica weed. I done been to Bahamas. I smoked their weed. I done been a lot of places. The Jamaican weed has always been in the Virgin Islands and stuff like that. As the herb is more motivated, it gets you up. You know what I'm saying? That's why Bob was so hyped too off of that herb. Nowadays this herb is spray on, you know what I mean, blue water and shit like that. It's really to control the masses of the people and make it a drug. So Rasta been promoting herb that's the legalized marijuana for the help. But now the government is using it even though the government knew it was good, and that's why they go ahead and accept it and making it a prescription, you know what I mean? But when it's prescription, it's really man-made, sprayed on chemicals, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same as going in the mountain and getting some real homegrown herbs. So yeah, herb. I don't really smoke herb like that no more. But I did it for 20 years. I've been smoked off and on, but it really doesn't do nothing to me how it does now. See what I'm saying? Yeah, herb is really the Rastafari people now are not getting the credit. You got Western and Europeans, people going in and going to Jamaica, getting this herb, getting them good seeds, and growing and starting their own dispensaries down there, grow farms down there. And while the Rasta man has been doing it to just survive, you understand? It's a crop to sell to help the family, not to get like rich off of it. See what I'm saying? That's why the Rasta man is getting persecuted down there in the islands and stuff, and they getting robbed and for the herb. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, Jeremy. Yeah, man. So I appreciate everybody, man. So before I get off of here, just go subscribe to the channel. Uh, in a couple of days, I will be live. Me and my father will be on here. So let y'all hear him. You know what I mean? Just sit back and listen to him. He'll put pieces together. You just gotta understand where his mind is being. You know what I mean? Did 30 years. He was a child going overseas at 18 and come back when he was 35. So his mind is really, you know what I mean, on some extraterrestrial stuff. You know what I mean? Body out of body experiences and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He really lived that life. So I give thanks and praise to everyone out there. Just subscribe to the channel. Be looking out for legendary Ross Core. I'm getting stuff together. I'm getting these products stuff together real soon. Go to the Empress Beats, Imperial Sanctuary. Everything's still coming in motion. We had a setback for a minute. Moved out of the country. So when we get back in this system, we be back. Okay. So it's getting dark out here. Shalom in the home. Rastafari. Thank you. Shalom.